So anyone who manages Google shopping feeds knows the nightmare pain of being handed a feed with like thousands of products and you're finding out it's been poorly optimized. Let's say it's got 1,000 products, each one needs keyword research, competitor analysis, and rewritten copy that not only follows best practice, but drives high CTR, it's got relevant keywords in there, and also drives high conversions per impression. That can be an absolutely enormous job, which could take up to hundreds of hours depending on how many products there are, or it could take minutes if you just run a simple AI agent, which I built in Claude using Claude Code, and you can go and make yourself a cup of tea whilst that's running. I'm Zach, my agency Vita Digital has managed millions in Google ad spend, and today I'm going to show you how I've used Claude Code to build this tool. We're going to look at the architecture, the specific prompts that we use to build it, to stop AI being lazy, and also the bugs we hit on the way. So if you run Google Shopping, you know the pain of optimizing feeds for thousands of products. You don't target keywords, you provide a feed, and that is essentially your keyword. If your feed is poorly optimized, then it might have a low feed quality, and you're effectively invisible in the auction or low visibility, which results in low product impression share and high CPCs. So it's pretty common to have multiple problems in the feed, but these are some of the most common ones. So bad titles, so poor keyword research, lack of size and color in there, material as well, poor use of keyword research, so not having keywords which are relevant to the products appearing in there, weak descriptions as well, which aren't SEO optimized and have just been pulled direct from the manufacturer. And then there's other problems as well, like lack of size, material, color, poor Google product types, all of which could be dealt with separately, but we're just going to focus on here the titles and the descriptions because that's a smaller issue in terms of the whole feed. If we were to do everything here, we would need lots of different agents. What we've got essentially here is like 6 different agents. So we've got an orchestrator which manages all the agents. We've got the optimizer which does the actual work. We've got a product crawler which will crawl the product pages of the specific products, a site crawler to help get context, which then gets fed to Gemini. We've got a competitor crawler, which can crawl specific competitor sites, which we say. Then we've got a keyword research tool, which feeds into the data for SEO API and will do specific keyword research on each product, which gives that, again, gives more context to Gemini for the rewriting. So in terms of how this works, so once you've set up Claude Code in your terminal, we then load in the CSV. So yeah, we load in the CSV into our data folder here. So I won't show you the full feed here because there's like over 1,000 products, but we'll just do a snippet of that. So yeah, this feed has got just over 1,200 products, but we'll just do an example one of here, which is just only 9 products. So the first thing we do is we would load the CSV. We actually hit a bit of a wall here because this feed had the G prefix in the feed, so we had to break that out because the parser broke. With Claude Code, that literally took about 2 minutes to fix. So what happens is in terms of the process, that feed gets loaded into here. The crawler agent activates that, which means that just crawls the website, reads every page link by link, understands the context, understands the brand voice. Then the second agent runs, which is the competitor one, and you put specific competitors in there. So for this one, we put in Misoma and Monica Vinader. It analyzes their product pages. It finds specific gaps that we've got in our feed versus their product pages. It sees which keywords they're targeting, and it runs a competitor sort of gap analysis. Then next thing that runs is the keyword research tool. So for this, we integrated data for SEO, and it looks for highest volume keywords. From the feed. So it uses the titles and the descriptions and finds seed-based keywords from those, feed those into data for SEO, and then it will spit out 5 keywords per product. We limited it for 5 because you pay per query, so we didn't want to end up spending too much money on that. Then the next step is we send it to Gemini, and you can see here so that we've been running this a few times to get it perfect. And this is we've done this a few times because we had to go through getting the perfect title structure in, getting the perfect description structure in. We then had to set it up so that it did look at actually optimizing towards a high CTR, and we did have also challenges with it not being aggressive enough, it skipping over things. So there is a bit of back and forth with Claude Code in terms of getting the output exactly as you want, and you need to just test that on very, very small subsets of feeds. So it's best to have a feed like this where you've only got 10 products, ideally 10 different products, and then you just keep running that again and again until you get it to be what you want to be. Otherwise, you're going to waste lots of money on credits. Then once you've got that keyword research in, the competitor research in, the next step is to send that to Gemini. So you send that to Gemini in a CSV format, and then Gemini will then spit that back out to you with the same feed, but with 2 additional columns. We've done it that way so that you have your title and your description, and then you have your title and description new, so you can compare them side by side. So that's the core of how it works. So you have different agents across these different sections, and you have to decide how to break those out and all the different inputs you want, because you know that you're going to want some good competitor research in that specific industry. You're going to want keyword research, so make sure to integrate an API. You're going to want to crawl the product pages to get the titles and the descriptions and the context to feed to Gemini, and then you're going to want to feed that all together so that you've got an orchestrator agent. The other piece is skills, which Claude Code is a really good feature in Claude Code. Those are different skills which you feed into Claude. So those are Python files. So we've got skills on the title rules so that it knows how to write a good Google shopping title. We've got feed attributes, so it tells Google how to write perfect feed structures and all the attributes in there. So like we know that, so that it knows that it needs an ID, a title, description, a link, etc. And that's just doing groundwork so that we've got those built out for when we bolster this. But right now we're just focusing on titles and descriptions. Description rules, so it knows how to write a good description. And then also product taxonomy. Again, that's just work we've done here for later on, but so that it knows all of the taxonomy codes in a Google shopping feed and what to look for. And yeah, I'll just show you now. So how we would run this. So we'll just get this up here. So to show you, so this is the example input feed, and then we'll just run it. You can see that's now running. That should be done within a minute or so, and I'll show you the input feed and the output feed. Of course, if we had more time, and cost wasn't an issue, we would run this across a whole feed, but there's no point right now. This is just to show you the process of how this all works. And you can see here we've got a full output log, so that took around about a minute. It read the input feed, it spat out a report and a changes report in 2 text files. Okay, yeah, it took 21 seconds, processed those nine products, made 18 title and description changes. The data for SEO cost was only 7 cents because it batched the API request. It did keyword research for 9 products, and you can see here the title before was this, and after the title changed to this. So it added the brand at the start because that was in our Claude skills. It added in more keywords, and so for lab grown diamond and solitaire necklace, which was already there, and then it added in a material 14 karat recycled gold, and it just shows you here how it's done that through each of the products, and then it shows you the output files as well. So we've got the foundations here for this to be scaled up for more products. So we can show you the output file here. Just open this up, and just to show you the output file, so for each product it's output keyword research directly from data for SEO, so which you can see here, and then it's fed, and you'll need to be quite clear with data for SEO, and you do that in the skill section, how to rank those keywords and how to prioritize those keywords. Ideally you want to prioritize by keywords which aren't currently within the title and description. You don't want to just get keyword research for the existing keywords. You want to, like here, this isn't perfect really, like we don't really need to know that that's 201k for necklaces, so that probably needs some improvement there. But zodiac necklaces here, Aquarius necklaces, those are useful terms because they are keywords which weren't originally included in the term, so you don't want just general keywords. And to show you the output here, so this is the output feed, so we've got the original title and the original description, and then to show you the output here, so this is the optimized version. So it's added in the brand, it's added in more keywords, it's added in material as well. So given this is AI, this is a really great way of getting keyword research, putting it into your titles, optimizing those titles, and doing that across thousands of products really, really quickly. You see that only took 20 seconds to do 9 products. We could scale that up quite significantly. And yeah, given this is AI, this isn't going to be perfect. There's always going to be edge cases. There's always going to be imperfections, but the goal of this should be to allow you to really scale up the speed at which you do things, particularly on the keyword research side, because that can take so long. doing individual keyword research for each product. So the lesson isn't about like perfection, and you shouldn't be looking for perfection with this. You should be looking at leverage. So what might have taken you a couple of days to do, you can now do in like half an hour, and the API cost is so low that it's definitely worth it. And this is only version 1, where we're just looking at titles and descriptions. The end goal with this is that we can take any input feed and we can have a much better output feed, which has the titles optimized, the descriptions optimized, it checks all the product categories, it adds size, material, color, and it's ultimately a better feed than we would have had, and that the execution is far quicker than we would have had. So this is only version 1, but the end goal is to have a tool here built with Claude Code that can take any input feed. It can analyze the whole feed, your competitors, your site, keyword research, and output a feed that is probably 80% optimized. It's always going to have that human in the loop to just sense check the AI's output and then put it live. It's never going to be in a state where that human is in the loop. I don't see that anyway. But the point for us as a business is to have a tool which enables us to work much quickly, and that's what we've got here now with Claude Code. Any further questions, just drop them in the comments, and if you want to see the repository, just drop a comment below. Happy to share. And if you want to see more systems that we're building and learn how we're automating a lot of the heavy lifting on Google Ads, then just hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.